So continuing on with Lark, the method for handling objections, and apologize if Chunk is snoring in the background. So as the slide said, it's a tool for handling objections. And sorry, what it stands for is one, you're going to listen to the objection. So that may sound super simple, listen. But as you get more advanced in your sales career, you're going to hear similar objections over and over again. And we get the tendency to think that we know what they're going to say and we want to go ahead and jump in. But don't do that. Listen fully to what they have to say. Then you're going to acknowledge their understanding. So you listen fully to what they have to say, and then acknowledge can be as simple as, thank you for bringing that up. Or, I can see why that would be a concern for you. Then you're going to assess the true nature of the objection, and you're going to do this with your probing questions that you learned about in needs discovery. So, tell me more why this would be a concern for you. Tell me more about why this is holding you up. Something to that extent. Once you've assessed the nature of the objection and you have a good understanding of why they're objecting, then you're going to respond. And that may be through giving proof through some kind of visual aid. It may be just you reassuring them. It can take a lot of different, views, or there are a lot of different ways to respond. And the last piece is you're going to confirm that this is no longer an issue. So you're simply going to ask something to the extent, so you're asking a question like, so let's say it was price. So price is no longer a concern for you, correct? Did what I say resolve your concern about product quality? So a few notes, you don't want to be defensive. Generally, they're not personally attacking you. Even if they do say something about you, you don't want to be defensive. You want to be very kind. You always want to confirm that your understanding. And so confirming your understanding can mean paraphrasing. So putting in your own words what they're saying. You don't want to make it argumentative. And then with your questions, help lead them to their answers. And you want to be honest and straightforward and not over-exaggerate. And then the last piece, like I said with the question, you want to make sure that this is no longer an issue once you go through LARC. So there are a few different ways you can go about this. So indirect denial is basically the opposite of just outwardly saying, hey, you're wrong. So for example, let's say you're selling hospital beds and they tell you that I don't want to do business with you. Your beds are $4,000 higher than your competitor. You could say in your response, you want to go through the other steps first. Gosh, many of our customers actually felt the same or thought the same. However, actually the cost is only $1,200 higher. And while I know that's more of an expense, I do have testimonials from other hospitals stating that our beds last up to 5 years longer. So in the end, you're actually going to save money. So your ROI is going to be higher. Forestalling is that you're going to get to what they're asking in the future. So when you do this, or if you do this, you're basically saying like, I'm going to cover that in a few minutes. Is it okay to wait until then? If it's not okay to wait until, a few minutes in the future, then you absolutely cover it right then. But that's the idea behind this. So boomerang is you're turning things around on them. Your prices are too high. You flip it and say, that's actually an advantage for you because you have a higher margin. So this is going to be specific to each customer. So LARC examples, and let me pull those up. Okay. Should have been of course it's highlighted. Thank you, Chunk. All right. So again, with the Gartner example, let's say time kind of need. I don't want to commit to a 3-year contract. So Gartner has a 3-year contract. That's non-negotiable. Thanks for bringing that up. I often hear customers say that. So you're reassuring. You ask, could you tell me a little bit more about why a 3-year contract concerns you? Then the customer responds, we're a new company. That's too long to commit. Sorry, I messed that up. It's too long to commit doing business with a new company that I don't have experience with. Response can be, I completely get why that would be a concern, and other customers have definitely brought this up when signing up with us. And then you talk about, we're not in this for short-term relationships. We're looking to build a long-term relationship with you to help you achieve your objectives year after year. In fact, we actually have a 90% customer retention rate, blah, blah, blah. Do you see why a 3-year contract is of value for you? Again, another example you can read through, they're trying to allocate their budget. They have so much, and adding another $150,000 is not going, it's just another line item, more money. So you go through, I can understand that's will be of concern. You go through everything. And in this example, when you're responding, you say, at Gartner, we not only research. Okay, I don't like how that's worded. We not only provide research on the best vendors, but offer a contract review service that saves on average 15 to 20% on every 3 to 4 contracts. What would you say the average contract is? Rough estimate is good. They say $1 million. So you can go down here and say, with $1 million, I'm going to save you $150,000. So that's a minimum. And so then you can emphasize the value in that. All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about in this is your assignment. And so in your role play groups, you're going to come up with 2 LARC sequences, like the examples I just showed you, which I will post, for 2 different types of objections. You're going to turn it in by a week from Tuesday. So November 16th, just 1 per group, but only who participated. And then you're going to have type of objection. So you're going to do 2 sequences. both sequences must have type of objection and the lark sequence. And then for one of them, you also need to indicate like a visual aid that you would do for the objection. Again, I will be available in my office. Please come by and ask any questions. I'll also set up a forum. And then in the next video, we'll continue with closing and follow-up.